below that month.
What's up, Dirty? My bad, bro.
The low. No, you good. It'd be like these two lows would be like what I would look at next, just as far as direction. So now I go down to the weekly. And then something else I would look at, like, if you remember anything about Wyckoff, like, this was probably like the first attempt to stop this up move. So you see how down here you could have had like a accumulation type thing. There's been a spring. They push up, small pullback, push up, and then they range for a little bit. They push up again. So you had this little reaction. Wasn't really too many like big red candles. Then you got this reaction where you get a deeper pullback. Then you got this reaction where you get around the same amount of movement, around 300-400 pips, but you're getting them way less candles over here. So it took 1, 2, 3, 12 weeks, 2 months for this to drop. Then only a month for this to drop, just about the same. So now I'll be looking at this low ultimately get taken out, but now I got my bias is just really down to the downside. So shit. Step down to the daily, and you can kind of see it more smooth. It's kind of just been flagging. Excuse me. This kind of just been flagging, like it's getting easier for it to move to the downside in this channel. And then we pop back up again. Volume is like increased, but they didn't really break the previous high. We reversed, made a evening star right here. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Market reversal. So now they can be like retesting in here. So now we got that. I would be looking for just like the next logical point. So you got low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high. So like lower high, lower lows. So now we'd be looking for like a low low to be made. Probably taking out something over here, or just this completely this low. Cause like you see how you get this candle formation, and then they retested it right here, and it's the same thing over here. You get this candle formation at the low, and they retested it over here. So this is basically like a reverse. It's a reversal pattern or whatever. So now this is daily. Oh hell yeah! You can always go look at the dollar index for this too. Just like inverse, it's really the only one that I like. Look at it like damn near mirror with, because it does the opposite of it, but now I got direction. I'm like, okay, I'll be looking for a point of interest. 9 times out of 10, and you got the most recent swing. Ew, that shit love it. But you see, you got this was like a 786 pullback, but you got your sale over, and you remember the premium discount pricing. Yeah. So this you got this area basically. It's in the premium pricing. If you wanted to sell like something like this, would make sense. Like a little flag pop up in here, because on the 1 hour. So on a 1 hour, you kind of see like a little bit clear that you got. So now that you got like somewhat of it's still a lower high right here. The lows don't really matter. The fact that you got like a lower high right here is still respecting this downtrend, because we didn't really do nothing. Like, we broke this structure, we broke this high, but like they rejected again. So
okay.
But you see, like, where you zoom into on the 4 hour, this is like in the higher area of that range, but you got a gap right here, which is a result of this reversal. Just taking my, just looking towards the 50% of that gap. That's just probably like how I walk the areas down. But then make it make sense, this is also like near the open of yesterday. So if we gonna like actually trade higher, we gonna bust through this level anyway. So once price gets here, then I'll start to see like what it acts like. If I can go on like the 5 minute, 3 minute or something to see like a distribution pattern or something, then that'll be the takeout yesterday's low, because they still haven't. Like, they came down to it a little bit, but it ain't really been tested that much. But if you just want to like look into stuff like daily levels, matter of fact, what was it? This one was like a good example. Just for instance, like, you see, I got the session breaks on, right? So this was yesterday, this was last night. So you got all right, so like, so I got the I got the low yesterday and the high yesterday, right? So this is basically my range. I'm just in like right here. Matter of fact, I think I got the fucking. There we go. All right, cool. So say I'm looking at this. I'm gonna let this show a little bit. Okay, so the next day plan out. These are the levels that I want to look at, because we've been pushing up, and then it came to a halt with this day, and we moved down, but for the most part, the daily like is not looking just like it's continuing, but at the same time, I know that this can be like a flag on the 4 hour.
And what chart is this you looking at, bro?
You said what?
What currency pair is this? Is this just
US 30?
Oh, okay, all right, cool. It's because it said US Wall Street 30. I was like, I don't usually trade that. That's why.
Yeah, it's just the one on this one is the one that like matched my broker on MT4.
All right, cool.
But the price is close to my broker. But basically, you kind of see if I'm looking at this as like a distribution, then this is my previous supply over here, buying climax, automatic reaction, and this will be like a secondary test. And I'm noticing that we we need like a upthrust, UT, UTAT, or whatever. So we stand within the range. You still want them to test this low just to see if they gonna continue past it, like a break and retest, or if it's just gonna be like a fake out. So I kind of seen this setting up like this after they respected their level. So like it's basically creating a wedge, and when you see price wedging, especially if it's staying between 2 points, it's gonna have to break out to one of those areas. The closest one is the low right here. So that's why I was like, it's gonna break out to the low and then probably hit the high. So once it got to the low, I'm noticing like you got high, low, low, high, low, 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 high, low, low. So really want to go into detail about this, but have you been using volume at all?
I actually started last night. After you showed me, I had use it on.
I got a PDF I can send to. It's on like 60 pages, I think, but it's like the most. It's out of this whole book, but it's on like the most important part of the book type shit, and it gives like a lot of game on how to use volume.
So now we can. I don't know if you were talking to Sierra too when you asked the question. I know.
No, but yeah, it's open. But just like basic structure, we left this low over here. So when we break it, you want to see volume be high, basically when you break the area of structure. So we broke the low, volume is high, but like not only do you want to see volume being high, when you break structure, you want to see it like actually break, retest, and continue. It's not really supposed to like stick around in this area. If you do, then there's some type of reversal coming like on the lower time frame. So it broke with high volume, but it started to reverse. It came back down to the low that it set with that. Volume is lower than previous. It's starting to increase, but it's not. It's increasing, but it's not breaking, right? So we pull back again. Break both of those lows, and then like volume just as high, but then you get like a reversal immediately type shit. So that's when I was like, okay, like let's see. Okay, so not only did that happen right there, you remember when I was like the morning and evening stars get retested? That's basically what I was looking for. But this was also like at the time, we had broke the previous day low. So if this is like a daily candle, and then this is me breaking, you see how they trending past it? These 5-minute candles, but this what happened on the daily. So it's the daily low, and they break it, but they not really trending past. And I'm like, okay, then we probably heading up because we set so many lows, and now they're starting to break away from type shit. So if we test the low, then only thing that's next to test is in the high, and then like each low after that. And so on and so forth. But then, like, you kind of see how it played out. It happened. So, like, this is currently. So we finished the day over here. So, like, if I didn't hold this all the way there, I held it to, like, I think the previous day high type shit. That's yesterday's. I held it to this high that started the new day from here, and then I should have really held it all the way, but it's US 30. I probably wouldn't have held through this fucking pullback. But like the point is, like, I really just pay attention to the previous daily levels and how price operate around them. And if it was to like break through, I would just look for like a small ass range, like on a 5 to 15 minute type shit, and get a re-entry type shit. And then just by this being down to one, because it can get ugly on the chart, but somebody can show you like off of real accumulations, real schematics. That area that like it came from was basically like a spring, but you can use this fib extension like I was showing you yesterday, Brennan, to the new high, to the LPS, and then like, you'll get your targets. And they kind of lined up. Like this one is all these highs that's over here. The next one is another set of highs. And the next one is literally like right near yesterday high. So that's when you know like, okay, this probably really is schematic. So it's really the same thing. Like just paying attention to daily levels and then zooming in on lower time frames, looking for schematics for entries. Because if you're entering in the right place, like it shouldn't, you're gonna know if you're wrong quick. Because after the spring, you're supposed to like, you know, you're supposed to get out of after spring, you're supposed to get out of this range like easy. Like how this pushed out.
Sure. Can you could you break down the AUD trade for her, and then also break down to me and her how you maintained it?
This man Trey on inbox me on Instagram earlier and was like, I need a signal. I was like bro, like, was you not listening?
You talking about Trey?
Yeah.
Nah, that I was watching that when I caught GJ. I ain't enter the AUD,
yeah.
but I caught the AJ for sure.
Yeah. I didn't even look at GJ yesterday. I should have. But basically it was the same thing us here. You know, this I was looking at this as a schematic distribution, larger time frame distribution. They had news yesterday, but basically the same thing. Like, let me go to the file. It'll look better. Kind of started to see how this was making a channel, and it was moving easier to the downside than it was like for the buys. But like you see, every time they pull back, first of all, this one took hella long. The buy volume it decreased like with every push up. Start here. This push up got healthier candles, but lower volume, and so on and so forth. So we make our way down. We push up again with like higher volume right here. But it decreased high again. Boom. And then we get the largest volume out of this whole range, and they come from the smallest candle. So I'm like, that don't even really make sense. And then again, volume is decreasing for the buys. So that told me like the buyers that's like really making AU move are like they getting weaker. So that's one thing like keep in mind, like we don't make volume appear. Like no retail trade volume appear. So all these spikes is from financial institutions, hedge funds, etc. Whales, people like that. So, but so this what I was looking at. Yesterday, again, like the same levels. We had the high yesterday, barely clipped with how we made here in Asia. So what's this? 14, 13? So the low from the 13 was actually like a seller's climax. You can see all this sales volume came in, but we start the range, the automatic reaction, making a range, secondary test. We get an up thrust past the automatic reaction, but it's kind of the same thing happening. So again, volume is increasing, but look what happened when we break the high. We pull it back, we test it again, fail, test it again, fail. So I think we was looking at it like right here.
Yeah, for sure. It was around that area, and then it started kind of rising a little bit during the Zoom call.
Yeah. So this little pullback, you can kind of see like they broke structure to the left, right? So after they broke structure to the left, I'm looking like, okay, what I'll be looking for next would be like a lower high, confirm type shit. Targets would be yesterday low, the previous day low type shit. But basically, my thing was if volume was going to increase like this, like it did, it should have at least broke this high type shit. It should have broke structure, like the characteristics that is given off. So the fact that we approached this level, where I got this from, on the 5 minute, it's a evening star in here, but from this level, it's like the open of yesterday. So if we was gonna trade up, then we was gonna have a strong close above this level and actually push like a new daily high and daily close whatsoever. But the fact that and actually reverse and then retest. So this was like my lower high confirmed. And then once we got in over here, once it got over here and gave this railroad formation, then I entered off of that. So over here, and my target was first target was the previous day low. The second target was this one, and then I still got like some partials in there, but basically looked like first target was 44 pips. Second one was 47.
Nice.
So this went for like, I ended up closing most of it out, I think somewhere around here. This little area down here. Let me see the numbers, please. So like, yeah, like 57 pips, if my math right. But yeah, basically, just how I maintained it is just like I didn't really look at it too much afterwards. Once it broke structure right here, I moved it to break even. So like, it never really gave me a reason to close it. Even with this, like how I look at the market, analyze like this buy volume, but like it really didn't do nothing.
Okay.
And
How long was that trade?
12 hours,
Oh, nice.
11 hours, 12 hours. So the entry would have been like the LPS and schematic. So even this, like now, like we'll be looking at what is actually around the high that it's making right now in Asian. And like the fact that they put, like the fact that it's a doji, right? It's not good anyway. Then price moving up and volume is decreasing. That means down candles, right? So
you're still projecting downside movement?
yeah.
Sure.
just to continue with yesterday, because it could just be struggling because of this spot too.
Yeah.
But you said you caught DJ?
Yeah.
DJ been so choppy, bro. On a hard time for me. Oh, yeah, it's tough. Where'd you get in at?
So, you know, I had, let me see if I can share my screen.
Oh, yeah, bet. You should be able to.
Let me see. So. All right. All right. Can you see it? You see my screen?
Yeah.
So when we was on Zoom this morning, last night, price was in this area. And then I was gonna buy, but I was just gonna wait for the sale because it was in the sale market. I really could have bought right here for the 90 pips up. But then when price came back to this resistance, that's where I sold it from here, this area.
The red box or
No, not the red box. The red box was from
oh, there was another day.
Yeah, a different day. So it will be off these. It was really, I was just selling off this support and in the structure, knowing I was in my downtrend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really the only track I really did.
Telling you, bro, them evening, morning stars be getting retested for the bitch.
No, for sure. But hey, y'all have put this volume on there. I'm still learning it as well into my.
In fact, let me see if I can send them on.
You can reach your screen.
But is Sierra you on?
Yeah.